I'm Jim Steckman, Senior Practice Leader with World at Work. Today I'd like to talk to you about some of the keys to effectively launching a new sales compensation plan. Sales compensation plans change frequently. Material changes are made in up to 2/3 of organizations every year in terms of how they compensate the sales force. And this is driven by a number of reasons. There'll be changes in strategy, there'll be changes in the way the organization is structured through M&As, there'll be changes in prioritization in terms of goal setting. So change is a constant, and this can be a challenge, but I think it can also be an opportunity for organizations. There's a couple of things that I would suggest that you think about as you prepare to launch a new sales plan next year. The first would be that if change is a constant, that doesn't mean it's a given. Organizations and employees in organizations need to have a case for change presented for them. And what's a case for change? A case for change is really two things. One is it's a burning platform, telling employees why they need to move from the status quo or the as-is situation to the should-be situation. But even a burning platform is not enough. You've also got to paint a picture, a vision, if you will, of what can be expected if we implement the new change. So building a case for change, I think, is key and sometimes overlooked. It's assumed that we're going to change the sales comp plan. We did it last year, we did it the year before, and it's just natural. But I think if you think about it in terms of both that burning platform idea and also the vision of what can be expected if we move forward and we make the change and we get on board, can be a real important way to engage your sales force and your sales organization. The second idea I would think about is really know your audience, and that may go without saying as well. In fact, it's oftentimes assumed that we know our audience, but you're dealing with the sales force. The sales force really appreciates and respects the selling process, and if they can feel as though you're speaking to them from the point of view of knowing their perspective and knowing who they are as an audience, that understanding the audience idea and that respect for them in the selling process can pay big dividends for you. So know your audience, know your sales force, and lay that groundwork early on. If you've been doing ride-alongs, if you've participated in new employee orientations and onboarding processes and things like that, then it'll probably be just a natural for you to really understand your audience. But if you haven't done those things, you'll be kind of playing catch-up. So really make sure you get ahead of the curve and understand your audience before you go participate in a new plan launch. The third point I save for last because I think it's most important. The critical value of your first-line manager in understanding, in being a part of the new sales comp plan design cannot be overstated. Oftentimes today in this age of the internet and kind of mass online enrollments that occur in benefits and mass launches of new comp plans and total reward statements and so forth, organizations have too often skipped over the first-line manager. Really fundamental to getting a change to take in the organization is to have your first-line managers engaged and on board with the new changes. If they are bought into it and they feel as though they've been part of the advanced planning process, and they also understand the communications plan so that they're not the last to know or they find out with the rest of the sales force, you'll have a much more effective rollout. So really respect and appreciate and value your first-line managers as you think about launching a new plan. They'll play a key role for you to get the sales force bought in. They'll help you identify potential issues before they become significant, and ultimately they'll help engage your sales force and reinforce the role of the first-line manager, which will pay big dividends beyond just the launch of the new sales comp plan. So those are the three things I'd recommend for you: is build a case for change, know your audience, and really respect and value and involve the first-line manager as you think about rolling out your new sales compensation plan for next year. This has been Jim Steckman with World at Work.